Hello everybody, welcome to QuickSave, your quick checkpoint throughout the week for all the video game news. My name is Gold and welcome to the first show. Thank you for tuning in. I've wanted to do this for quite a while and I'm excited to do it and I hope you enjoy. We're going to get right to it. We have three main stories today. We're going to start with a good one because the second one's a little depressing and I don't want the first story I ever report on to just be sad and depressing. So this first one comes from Concerned Ape, talks about Haunted Chocolatier, which we've probably known about for, I'm guessing, 5 years or so? But he says, I'm still working like always. Hey everyone, good news. I've been very productive lately on Haunted Chocolatier. Yep, it's taking a while to finish the game. That's okay. I know I shouldn't have announced the game so early, but I had my reasons. To debunk a few myths and false assumptions I've seen, myth number 1, Haunted Chocolatier will be abandoned and the content will be added to Stardew Valley. No, first, I am not going to abandon Haunted Chocolatier, but even if I did, I am not going to add it to Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley and Haunted Chocolatier are separate games. It doesn't even make sense from a technical perspective, as Haunted Chocolatier is written from scratch. It's not even the same engine as Stardew Valley. You can't just copy and paste Haunted Chocolatier into Stardew Valley, which I'm actually really impressed by that. I did not know that he just made a complete new engine. I would have thought he would have used Stardew's engine. So this man works. The second myth he talks about is the Stardew Valley updates are being used to test out ideas for Haunted Chocolatier. And he said, nope, when working on Stardew Valley, I'm not thinking about Haunted Chocolatier and vice versa. I wouldn't test something out in Stardew Valley because that would be unfair to Stardew Valley. And I also don't want to spoil ideas for Haunted Chocolatier by adding them first to Stardew. Also, Stardew is a different game, so you can't really test something for Haunted Chocolatier in it in an accurate way. Myth number 3, Concerned Ape is working on a new Stardew Valley update because he's burnt out on Haunted Chocolatier. No, I'm working on a new Stardew update because it's a very popular game with a large, ever-growing player base, and I still have additional ideas for how to improve it. Number 4, Concerned Ape said it's not coming out until 2030. I didn't say that. I was asked in 2025 if it would come out within the next 5 years, and I said, I hope so. This is very different than saying it's coming out in 2030. The bottom line is, I don't want to give a release date. The game will come out when it's done. He closes his letter by saying, anyway, the only thing that really matters is that I keep making progress on the game and release it. So I'm going to get back to doing that now. Thank you. Too long didn't read. I'm alive. The game is still in development and it will come out when it's ready. Thank you for your patience. Concerned Ape seems like a very cool guy, and heaven knows he can wait as long as he wants to release the game because this man is so stinking rich. He could wait till 2035 and he'd be as right as rain. But it is good to know that most likely it will be out. I'm guessing. I wouldn't be surprised if we could see it in 2028, maybe 2029. I'm excited to see what his second game is really like and how big it's going to be. Will it be as big as Stardew? Can anything be as big as that? I don't know, but we just have to wait to find out. Our second story comes from Jennifer Moss at Variety. 1/3 of U.S. video game industry workers were laid off over the last 2 years, GDC study reveals. She said, 1/3 of U.S. video game industry workers say they were laid off over the past 2 years, according to a new survey conducted by the organizers behind the newly revamped Game Developers Conference. Based on responses from more than 2,300 game industry professionals, the 2026 State of the Game Industry Report found that 33% of respondents in the U.S. were laid off in the past 2 years. Per the report, those at AAA studios were highly likely to have experienced layoffs at their companies. 2/3 of respondents at AAA studios said their companies had layoffs. 1/3 of people working at indie studios reported the same. So be very careful. If you want to work in video games, maybe don't just yet. Maybe wait a little bit, or make sure you got a good backup plan because things are just not going very well and everyone's having a tough time. Here, 1/3 is genuinely, I know, like all last year, well, gosh, it seems like every week for like the past 4 years, we always hear something of so-and-so is laid off, so-and-so is laid off again and again. But 1/3 in just a 2-year time period, that's huge. I guess it is just the US. That's not everyone. But still, that's got to be a huge portion of it. I'm curious to see what the next 2 years look like. Do we continue declining or do things improve? Hopefully they improve. But there's a lot of buyouts coming from companies. Saudi Arabia getting EA. I'm going to guess Tencent's going to get more Ubisoft. And who knows who else Microsoft might buy. So it's... I don't know, because I think the more places that get bought by other places, there's just going to be more layoffs because there's going to be redundancies. And I'm sure for those that work at those studios that are up for sale or going to be up for sale, that's probably really scary. So let's all hope and pray for the best. Now onwards to some more interesting news. This comes from Tom Henderson at Insider Gaming. Okay. Mind's Eye. It fascinates me. The developers behind Mind's Eye, Build a Rocket Boy, are planning to announce soon that they have decided to part ways with their publisher, IO Interactive. According to sources close to the impending news, the decision is driven by Build a Rocket Boy's desire to bring its publishing in-house and gain more control over its future. That includes faster decision-making, simpler communication, and greater control over the player experience. As part of the change, it's said that the upcoming Mind's Eye and Hitman crossover, which was announced during 2025's Summer Game Fest, will no longer be taking place. Instead, Build a Rocket Boy will continue focusing on more fixes and content updates to build out Mind's Eye. It's understood that the decision to part ways is Build a Rocket Boy's rather than IO Interactive's. And really, I don't have any confidence in Build a Rocket Boy. I hope I'm wrong. I just don't really have any faith in this company. This comes from the same company whose president was accusing people of being paid to give bad reviews for the game and say bad things about it, which I think primarily really were just all justified. I hope they can make Mind's Eye something really good and they can make it better. But I really don't expect Build a Rocket Boy to be around for a whole lot longer because they can't be making much money. And now that they don't have IO behind them, which honestly, IO Interactive doing publishing stuff, I just find sort of weird. I didn't even know they were really doing it until the whole Mind's Eye situation came out, which was supposed to be with Everywhere, and that's just disappeared. So I don't, Everywhere's like now in Mind's Eye, where you're supposed to be able to make games, but it is just Mind's Eye now, and I don't know. This whole situation's weird, and as much as I hate to say it, and I hope I'm wrong, I don't see a future for Build a Rocket Boy or Mind's Eye at all. Maybe you should just accept the fact that your game is bad and try to make improvements. But maybe he's accepted that privately and is trying to make improvements, which I'll take that. That's something. So keep your eye out for something from these people. Probably just a closure. I'm guessing closure. I hope not for the sake of the workers, but it's probably just going to be closure. In other news, reliable leaker Nate the Hate says that a Nintendo Partner Direct is coming February 5th, which I imagine means that it really is coming because Nate the Hate's usually right on just about everything. And I'm very curious as to what's going to be shown. I would love to see Duskbloods. I think we have a chance, other than the fact that Elden Ring has still not been released. So maybe they'll want to do that before Duskbloods? I don't know. We might see some Final Fantasy. Is Final Fantasy VII Remake on the Switch yet? I'm not sure if it's out yet on it. I don't think it is. I think it's almost here, so that we might see something about that. We'll probably see something about the upcoming Dragon Quest remake. I fully expect that. Other than that, I don't know what we could see, but I'm excited. I'm glad it's not just a Nindies. That's fine, but I'd rather see some of the bigger things, and we don't have to wait very long. IGN is turning 30. That's great. That's really all I got to say about it. I didn't realize they were a little older than me. the same year, 1996. Come on, boys, let's go, let's go. But that's congratulations to them, and for reminding me that I'm really close to being really old. Woo! Highguard. They said, we heard the feedback, and they're getting an experimental 5v5 mode, which I fully imagine this is going to be not experimental for very long and will be just a normal mode. It should have been a 5v5 from the beginning. 3v3 is a little too small, a little too quiet, but I'm really happy that it was released, Monday, and it's currently Friday, and this is the second patch they've done. The first patch, they added the ability to toggle crouch and toggle aim down sights, which I was looking for, and I was like, oh darn it, they don't have it here. But they are pushing for it, and I'm rooting for Highguard. I wanted it to be good. It was okay. But I really think with work they can probably turn this around, and I hope they do. So that is all. That is all the news for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in to the very first episode. I appreciate you watching or listening or both, and I will see you next time.